What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. So, I'm going to be talking about Trump today because I feel like that's one of the things that's being talked about this week, this whole impeachment trial. So, yeah, for those that don't know, Trump's getting impeached for the second time. I guess that's like some president history type stuff because there's never been any other president that's been impeached twice. I mean, there's been presidents that have been impeached, but twice? I'm like, yeah, bro, you did something. My thing is, it's funny how people really try to argue with me about like overall like Trump, like him and his this whole presidential reign, but they don't want to admit the wrong that he did. They always want to speak on the right, but they don't want to admit that they're wrong that he did. And I guess that's like on some of us too, where it's like we only want to talk about the wrong and don't want to talk about the right. But the thing is, it's like he's done more wrong than right. Like for me, the biggest thing about it, like I really don't care about none of the other stuff that he's done. The number one thing that sticks out to me is that there's people that I used to call friends. There's people, and still to this day, I call them friends, but I just look at them differently. You know, like the times that I did go out and say something about Trump and then, you know, they get mad and then feel like that they need to respond to what I overall said. I'm like, yo, I've made like hundreds of millions of other posts talking about whatever. As soon as I talk about Trump, that's when you feel like you need to comment and say something. You know, it's like it's stuff like that where I'm like, if I post about me going through something, you don't say nothing, and I really need the person's help, but then you're there when I'm talking bad about Trump. That type of stuff, I'm like, you can unfriend me. You can unfriend me, unfollow me, that type of stuff. I'm like, you can't tell me that you love me one day as a friend, but then that type of stuff, like I get you pressed, I get you upset over the fact that I'm talking about Trump. That type of stuff, I'm like, I'm not cool with that. You know, like, because my thing is like, regardless of whether you support Trump or not, I know if one of my friends is dealing with something, regardless of who they support in this world, if they're going through some stuff and they need somebody to talk to, I will talk to them. Why? Because at the end of the day, I see you as a friend. I see you as somebody, people that I've known for years, bruh. Like 10 years, 10 plus years. I'm saying like that type of stuff, that shouldn't be thrown away. Like overall the laughs, the moment, like just overall memories and stuff, like that type of stuff that we share. And I know people would think that that's silly. I know people would think that that's dumb. Like, you're overall like just only talking on like just, you know, your friendship, not anything else. Because I'm like, that's what sticks out to me. That's what sticks out the most to me. I know people, you could go ahead and call me childish and all that stuff, but that's what sticks out the most to me. The friendship, like us, the fact that we can look back to when we were kids and then years later when we're adults, we still see each other as friends. Like that type of stuff sticks out to me. So the fact that I'm now looking at some of my friends differently because of the arguments that we've had over a man that he doesn't care for the both of us. He put my life and your lives in danger. Seriously, think about it. All black people across the world, when we were doing the Black Lives Matter, when George Floyd died, we were doing all that Black Lives Matter protesting, and you know, we were overall rioting to overall like get our lives like more noticed and protected, because we just feel like that people look over our lives. They're all like, oh, we don't care if a black person dies. But if it had been anybody else, it's like, oh, no, wait a second, hold on now, what's going on here? So I'm just saying, like, for me at least, I just think that black lives just need to be taken a little bit more seriously. That's all I'm just trying to say. You know, I wasn't one of the people that went out and riot and protest and all this other extra stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I just want my life to be looked at any other form of life. I'm saying, like, there's people out here that would be so quick and easy to take out a black life, but anybody else, like, if it was like, my thing is that for that one situation where the guy was jogging and he, you know, those white guys had chased them down and shot and killed them. Do you think them guys would have did that if it was their son? No. So I'm like, that's my thing is like, you guys see it like that. You guys see it as like, yo, like, what if this was my son? What if this was my brother? What if this was somebody that I knew? You know, you wouldn't have came at them with that type of energy. You wouldn't have chased them down and shot and killed them. Because of what? Him jogging? Because of him minding his own business? And that's what gives you guys the reason to chase and kill him? Even the George Floyd situation. Do you think that cop that had his knee on his neck for like, what is it, 8 minutes? Do you think he would have did that if it was his kid? No. And he wouldn't have wanted nobody to do that if it was his kid. And then to speak to all of my friends that's had a problem with me saying something about Trump. Let's say you much more older, right? Much more older, and let's say there's another president just like Trump, and then your kid decides to go out and you're supporting this president, right? There's just another honestly another Donald Trump Jr. because I know there's already a Donald Trump Jr., but there's another Donald Trump Jr. and they become president, or let's say if it is the actual either way, like let's just say there's a president that puts your kids' lives in danger, and now you're burying your kids because of this president carrying on just like how Trump's carrying on. They put your kid's life in danger. Now you got to bury your kid. Do you think at the end of the day you would still support Trump? Do you, or a Trump-like president or something, do you think at the end of the day you would still support that president? Because I know if I supported the president and then they put my kid's life in danger, and then by them, motivating their minds to go out to the Capitol and do whatever crazy stuff. Because I'm saying, do you think that that girl that got, because I know there's that one viral video, they finally saw it, like when that case or when that situation happened, when they stormed the Capitol, and then there was like the first story or first death that broke out was that woman, and they showed the video. She climbed up on top of something, and then it was like I don't know if it was like a Secret Service guy or whoever, but they shot and killed her. So I'm like, my thing is like, do you think if that family, do you think that they still support Trump till this day? Because if so, they stupid. They are legit stupid. This man, all right, this person just put your daughter, he just pretty much put your daughter in the ground. When you sit down and think about it, he motivated her mind to go out and do some stuff that he could have did himself. That's why I've always spoke on that I will never ever use my fans for my own benefit. Never. There's no reason for me to. And if I haven't said it, or if I need to say it right now, do not do it. If there's ever a time where I'm dealing with some stuff, don't participate, don't do nothing. Just my thing is that y'all came here to be entertained by my content. So if you want to listen to my podcast, if you want to watch my TikTok videos, if you want to watch my stream, my YouTube videos, listen to my music, do that. Because that's where the support is really at. But when you're supporting me on some stuff that I'm like mad about or whatever, no, that my thing is like, you have your own experiences in life and I have my own experiences in life. But until then, like that type of stuff where I'm like, I'm not going to use you guys for my own benefit. And that's honestly throughout the whole time Trump has been in office, even before when he was running for president, that's what he's always did, was use people for his own benefit. Like there's some of these like racist groups, like I never even heard of the Proud Boys until Trump got into office. I didn't hear about any of this stuff until Trump. I've really seen this world change before my eyes when Trump got into office. That's something where I'm like, man, I never would have thought like there's friends, there's people that I've known for years, a lot longer than me paying attention to Trump or Trump being in office or running for, but I've known some of these, like some of my friends for years. There are some of them where I've had to unfriend. There are some that reached out to me, we had an adult conversation about the situation, but I'm like, that type of stuff where I'm like, if I'm, talking about Trump and then you feel like you need to say something about that, but if I'm posting about, like, let's say if I'm posting about some sad, depressing type stuff, right? Like I'm saying, like, I know when I posted about my, like, friends, grandparents, or I post about people in my life passing, or when I posted, me dealing with some stuff, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Friends I've known ever since, like, some elementary, some, like, high school, middle school. Nowhere to be found. As soon as I say something about Trump, oh no, wait a second, time out, Tyler. You can't talk about Trump. Why? So my thing is, and it's crazy, I'm like, they're allowed to say what they want to say about Trump, but as soon as I say something about it, then that's when that's when the conversation needs to be stopped. Like these same friends posting, sharing things left and right, saying how they support Trump, how they do this. I've never said anything to them. I'm like, oh, if they support, there is even one of my friends, I think she said she voted for Trump when he was originally getting into office. I said nothing about it. I didn't even care. I'm like, all right, that's what her, if those are her political views, those are her political views. But if she were to ever deal with something, or any of my other friends, if they were to ever deal with something, I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to ask them if they're okay. Why? Because that's more important than a political view of whatever. So that's why I'm like, it just really trips me out. Like, that's how divided this country is. You know, like me, I still stay true to myself. I wasn't gonna change for nobody because you voted for Trump. Because I'm like, I don't care. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. You can vote for the freaking Teletubbies to be in office. If you voted for them to be in office, hey, look, that's on you. If you voted for freaking who else? I don't even freaking. What was that one girl that just recently got fired from that Mandalorian show, that Star Wars show on Disney Plus? I guess she came out and said some crazy racist stuff. And if y'all voted for her to be in office, okay, that is on you. If y'all voted for James Charles to be in office, guess what? What did I just say previously before? That is on you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm saying, like, your political views are your political views. My political views are my political views. I feel like conversations like that, unless, like, we both agree, I feel like that's what needs to be happening nowadays. It's like, do you agree to get into this argument? Because I'm telling you right now, all of the arguments that I've ever been into on the internet, I would have declined. Probably the only argument that I would have wanted to be a part of was the racist arguments. Because I'm like, it's always somebody feeling like, oh, I'm entitled to call you the N-word. I'm entitled to call you. No, you are not. Like, I don't know how that even is possible, but no, you're not. So please do not ever come at me with that type of energy. But overall, I'm like, I just, man, these Trump arguments is like, they're just crazy. They're seriously crazy. I'm like, but then that's another thing. I'm like, for people to, be so quick, especially with this whole Capitol situation, I'm like, okay, well, if he was right for what he did, he wouldn't be getting impeached, correct? They ain't got nothing to do with the government being corrupt or any of that stuff. No, this man put people's life, he got people killed and put people's lives in danger. So if what he did was right, why would he be getting impeached? Honestly, sit down and think about that. Why would he be getting impeached if what he did was right? If him speaking his mind or overall standing up for himself, like he did the right thing, correct? Okay, so why is he facing consequences behind it? Because I feel like that's what everybody is like not seeing, is that you can't insinuate a riot, tell people to go to some, because my thing is, what would you do if I were to tell people to go to your house and destroy it, put your life in danger and destroy it because you voted for Trump? How would that make you feel? You would be mad, right? You would be saying the same thing that I'm saying. It's wrong. It's not right. You can't do stuff like that and then think that it's okay. It's not. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what argument you want to start with me. It ain't right. At the end of the day, you can argue with me all you want, but you have to understand that's not right. So I'm saying, if that type of stuff were to happen to me, I would be saying the same thing. It is not right. So that's why I'm like, I don't understand why people, especially that day, people was arguing with me. And I'm like, are you serious? This man got people killed and put hundreds of people's lives in danger. There is that one woman, AOC, I don't even know what her real name is, but I know it's like AOC or something like that. Alexandria Alexandria Cortez. That middle name, I'm like, look, I'm struggling on that. But anyways, she said how she was at the White House and how she's dealt with some stuff in her personal life that's it was like pretty, like it scarred her, right? So with all of the things that, with all the stuff going on with the Capitol that day, and then she's like, I think she said she like ran to her bathroom and locked, but she's saying like hearing people banging on the door and stuff, trying to break in and all of that. You mean to tell me no, like you wouldn't have been scared in no situation like that? To everybody that's ever argued with me about Trump, or the people that feel like they want to argue with me about Trump, you wouldn't have been scared in no situation like that? Because I know I have been shaken. I have been terrified. Because I've been like, yo, these people are going to try. And then when I heard where people was like, they were trying to kill Mike Pence. They was all like, oh, we need to, they was like hanging a noose and was like looking for him and stuff. Like, thank God man made it out of there alive. But I'm saying, like, that's scary, bruh. Like, that's some type of stuff I would not ever want to deal with that. I'm saying, like, imagine if somebody's kids was there, right? All that stuff going on. Do you want your kids to see that? Like, talking to all my friends right now with kids, would you want your kids to see that? Would you want your kids to be a part of that? Would you want your kids to go out and do something, like they get older, they start having a political viewing for themselves? Would you want your kids to go out and do some stuff like that? End up like that woman that got shot and killed? Or end up like any of the other people that got killed that day? Or injured, if not that, worse than what, injured to where they're in the hospital, maybe some fighting for their lives, maybe some dealing with some broken bones or whatever. I'm saying, man, I'm like, if you put people's lives in danger like that, you don't need to be a president. You don't need to have no presidential what is the word I'm trying to find? I don't freaking know. I've said so many words. I've been benefits, presidential benefits. You don't need any of that stuff, because it's like you don't know how to use it. My thing is like, if what Trump had did all this time, if Trump was right this whole time, why did all, like, literally every single social media, every platform in the world block this man? Every platform, the only thing that this man can really do is buy my pillows. Like, that's the only thing that he really has. Or what is he gonna go and be like writing out messages on pillows now? I'm saying that's really the only way that he can, because so for those that don't know, the My Pillow company, or the CEO or whoever, the owner of that company, I guess, came out and say how he supports Trump or some stuff like that. But I'm like, that's literally the only person I don't know. I guess that would be the only way he'd have a platform, is write out some messages on some pillows and stuff. But jokes aside though, I'm like, you guys gotta understand, this man put people's lives in danger. If that was me, my kids, somebody that I knew, and they died because listening to Trump, you can't support him. You cannot have no support for that man. Honestly, to anybody that still supports him, you a fool for that. You seriously are. Friends, family, whoever you are, you a fool for that. Because I'm saying, like, this, if he will put your life in danger, will not care whether you support him and whether you don't support him. He will put your life in danger. I'm saying, like, even with the Black Lives Matter protesting that went on last year, and we marched past the Capitol. All we did was march past it. This man had literally every military branch lined up outside the place. But with his supporters, he told them, go raid the Capitol. Go there and just cause hell. Just go there and just act crazy for no reason whatsoever, because I'm getting ready to lose all my presidential benefits and all this other stuff. I'm not going to be president anymore. So yeah, just go up there and just cause hell. Just go up there and go crazy. That's your guys as president. Like, nah, man, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff right there. But hey, that's your political viewings. If you want to support him, support him. But don't look at me to support him. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather support a squirrel in office than to support Trump in office. I'm like, and then the crazy thing about it is, like, when they try to, like, come at me for not supporting him and stuff, there's friends that I care for that Trump, he's had nothing but negative things to say about their whole race. Hispanic friends. I grew up, to just overall tell y'all my love for Hispanic people, I grew up around Hispanic people ever since I was a kid. Probably one of my first friends I've ever made, kid's name was Tony. He was Hispanic. All the way up until the last greatest friend that I've ever had in my whole life. She's Hispanic. Her name's Priscilla from Four Souls. So why would I turn? My thing is, like, I haven't talked to that Tony kid in years, but Priscilla literally been there for me in, like, some of the most darkest days of my life, or through YouTube, personal, whenever. For me to like, and we've only been friends since 2017, so a few years. Them few years that honestly saved the rest of my life. Why would I turn that all away just so I can write down on a piece of paper or check out a box thing saying I voted for Trump? Why would I do that? Or to come out in the post saying I support Trump or I voted for Trump or whatever. I'm not going to do that. No, I will not do that. I ain't going to throw away, like, years of friendship where it's like they've been there for me in my darkest. And I'm like, so for me to be there for them, and I feel like that's like with this whole Trump situation, why can I not be there for them? You know, like to ask people that, I'm like, they don't support him. If anybody does support him, they think that they're gonna gain something from it. I know. All right, and that's why I was like, I remember there was that one lady. She came out on TV. She was this Hispanic lady. Was like, oh yes, I support Trump. It was like, what? It was, my thing is like with that situation, two cases. She's being she thinks she's gonna get some benefits from it, slash like she could be a racist on the low. I don't know, but anyway, she probably thinks she's gonna get some benefits from it, or she got paid. She got paid to say it. Of course, if I know, if somebody, if look, if the Trump's administration, if they told me all I gotta do is come out on TV and say that I support Trump and I'm gonna get $100,000 for it, I'm like, bro, that's a check. All I just gotta do is come out on TV and just say that I support Trump. I'm like, bro, that is a check. Like, I'm saying, of course I would do it. I'm getting a check from it. Anybody would. That doesn't mean that. My thing is like, money doesn't speak a person's opinion, you know, or doesn't speak what they're feeling. Like, money is just putting money in my pocket. So I would tell all my friends, like, hey, look, just understand, I'm gonna be on TV today. I'm gonna come out and say that I support Trump, even though I don't. But they said that they're giving me $100,000 for it. $100,000 is $100,000. And that ain't no different from them posts that be like, my thing is like, and don't say stuff like you will slap your significant other for like $1 billion, but you won't go out on TV and say that you support Trump for 100,000 or a million or $1 billion. Of course I would. Freaking $1 million, bro. I would be giving off the most Oscar award winning performance on TV if I know I'm getting $1 million just to come out and say that I support Trump. I've been like, hey, bro, look, I've been supporting that man ever since WrestleMania 23. I'm like, he won that match, and I always knew Trump was gonna be a winner. So when he came into the office, guess what he did? He won. So that's why you guys support. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, I had the whole thing planned out. I improvised that thing and killed it. Okay, so. Because I know I'm about to get $1 million. But after that, I've been like, hey, look, I did it for the money. I really don't support that man. So y'all can say what you want to say, but I'm like, hey, look, I'm making money off of him. So that would honestly be the only way that I would support Trump, if I was getting paid to. So anyways, yeah, if the Trump team, if y'all want to pay me, I'm saying, like, I'll do it. Just know that I don't actually truly support that man. But if you doing it, if you want to pay me, hey, yeah, sure. I'm like, I'd freaking act like Leonardo DiCaprio on TV if I know I'm getting paid. So, but anyways, but other than that, like I said, like, you know, if you support Trump, that's on you. So anyways, it's like at the end of the day, you gotta understand what he did was wrong. That's why he's getting impeached. That's why you got literally the world, half the world mad at him. Probably like, and it's probably raising up like more than the half of the world mad at him. So yeah, it's like he put people's lives in danger. You can't get away with that type of stuff. So anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe however it's set up. Yeah, and check out my merch store. Check out my Twitch stream. Check out any of my other YouTube channels. And until then, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.